The Dallas Cowboys are entering one of the biggest decisions of the 2026 offseason, and it all centers around wide receiver George Pickens. After joining the Cowboys and putting together a dominant 2025 season, Pickens has become one of the most important players in the entire Dallas offense. Through just 11 games, he has already passed 1,000 receiving yards and scored 8 touchdowns, ranking near the very top of the NFL in both categories. His combination of strength, speed, and ability to win contested catches has made him one of the most feared receivers in the league. Because of this elite production, many fans assumed that the Cowboys would immediately begin working on a long-term extension to keep Pickens in Dallas for many years. However, the situation is far more complicated, and the Cowboys must think carefully before making a decision. The team already has CeeDee Lamb on a massive contract, and paying 2 wide receivers superstar money would limit how much they can invest in other positions. At the same time, Pickens has had some character concerns in his past, especially during his time with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even in 2025 with Dallas, he has had a few moments that reminded the team of those issues, including being benched for a short period in Week 11 after missing the team bus. Because of all these factors, the Cowboys cannot simply hand him a mega contract without deep consideration. This is where ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler's report becomes important. According to Fowler, the Cowboys are strongly considering using the franchise tag on Pickens in 2026. The tag is expected to cost around $28 million for one season. Fowler explained that the Cowboys are not afraid of that number at all. In fact, the willingness to consider the tag shows that Dallas has strong interest in keeping Pickens. What the team has not decided yet is whether the tag is the best option, or if they should try to work out a long-term deal sooner. The franchise tag provides the Cowboys with flexibility. If they choose to use it, Pickens stays on the roster for at least one more season. This gives the team more time to negotiate, and avoids the risk of losing him in free agency. It also gives Dallas the option to explore a potential tag-and-trade scenario if they cannot agree on a contract later. In many ways, the tag works for the Cowboys because it keeps their options open, protects their investment, and buys time to study the situation further. However, the franchise tag does not work as well for George Pickens himself. According to Fowler, Pickens' camp would prefer a long-term contract rather than playing one season on the tag. There are clear reasons for this. Players want long-term security, especially at a position where injuries happen often. A multi-year extension gives guaranteed money, stability, and peace of mind. With the kind of season Pickens is having, he knows he can earn much more than $28 million per year on the open market. Some receivers are being paid over $30 or even $35 million annually, and Pickens' production puts him close to that category. A one-year tag risks everything because one injury could affect his future value. This creates a tense but interesting situation. The Cowboys love Pickens' talent, but they must think about their future salary cap and team structure. Pickens wants long-term security, but he also wants to be paid like a top receiver. Dallas wants to keep him, but they want to do it on terms that make sense for the team. At the same time, Jerry Jones has publicly said he is open to keeping Pickens long-term. He sees Pickens as an important piece of the Cowboys' offense, and wants to give Dak Prescott the best weapons possible. But Jerry Jones has also been clear that any contract must match what is best for the entire organization. As we look ahead to the 2026 offseason, there are 4 realistic outcomes. The first is that the Cowboys and Pickens agree to a long-term extension, keeping him in Dallas for years to come. This is the cleanest solution, and likely the most satisfying for fans. The second option is that the Cowboys use the franchise tag, giving them time to continue negotiating. The third option is a tag-and-trade, which would send Pickens to another team in exchange for draft picks while allowing him to sign a huge contract elsewhere. The final option, although unlikely, is that the Cowboys let him walk in free agency, which would be a major loss. No matter which path the Cowboys choose, the truth is simple: George Pickens has become a core part of the Dallas Cowboys' identity. His playmaking ability changes games, forces defenses to adjust, and creates big opportunities for the rest of the offense. He has rare talent that is difficult to replace. But talent alone does not make contract decisions easy. The Cowboys must balance performance, personality, long-term planning, and financial responsibility. As the 2026 offseason approaches, all eyes will be on the Cowboys front office. Fans want to know whether George Pickens will stay in Dallas for the long term, play under the franchise tag, or become part of a major trade. Whatever happens, this decision will shape the future of the franchise and define how the Cowboys move forward in their quest for a championship. The Dallas Cowboys produced one of the most shocking comebacks of the entire NFL season when they erased a 21-point deficit and defeated the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Dak Prescott was the center of everything. He had a hand in all 3 touchdowns, made huge throws in the final minutes, and led the drive that set up the game-winning field goal. The victory kept the Cowboys alive in the playoff race, improving their record to 5-5-1 as they prepare for a short week before facing the Kansas City Chiefs on Thanksgiving. When Prescott was asked how such an unbelievable comeback was even possible, he did not talk about himself. Instead, he repeated one word 4 times: defense. Prescott explained that the defense kept giving the offense chance after chance. He said that without the way the defense played, the Cowboys would have never won this game. This statement is even more powerful when you look back 1 month and remember how badly the Cowboys' defense struggled. During the blowout loss to the Denver Broncos, Dallas gave up 6 touchdowns in 7 drives and ranked near the bottom of the league in almost every category. But everything changed at the trade deadline. Dallas used one of the first-round picks they received from the Micah Parsons trade to acquire defensive tackle Quinnen Williams from the New York Jets. Since Williams arrived, Dallas is 2-0. The impact has been immediate. In the win over Las Vegas, the defense allowed only 236 yards and held the Raiders to one of their worst third-down performances of the season. And against the Eagles, Dallas played its best stretch of defense all year, shutting Philadelphia out for the final 41 minutes of the game. Quinnen Williams said after the win that the whole defense is starting to click together. He explained that even though he is a high-impact player, nobody can do it alone. He believes the Cowboys' defense is finally communicating, executing, and trusting each other on every snap. That teamwork showed in the biggest moment, when Osa Odigizwa sacked Jalen Hurts on 3rd down late in the 4th quarter. That stop gave the Cowboys one more possession, and this time Prescott and the offense finished the job with Brandon Aubrey's game-winning kick. Odigizwa also talked about how the defensive improvements matched perfectly with the Cowboys' offensive strength. He said the offense has been strong all season, so the defense's job is simple: get stops and give the offense more chances to score. The comeback win, he said, shows the team's identity. They fight on every play, scratch for every inch, and never quit when the game gets tough. On the offensive side, one of the most exciting storylines is the connection between Dak Prescott and wide receiver George Pickens. Pickens, who arrived in an off-season trade with Pittsburgh, has become one of the best playmakers in the league. His spectacular 43-yard leaping catch in the 4th quarter was one of the key plays that allowed the Cowboys to tie the game. Pickens has already tied his career high in catches 3 different times this season, and he is on pace for more than 1,700 receiving yards, a superstar pace. But while Pickens continues to shine, CeeDee Lamb is struggling with drops. Lamb had important drops in the season opener against Philadelphia, and he had more against the Eagles in this game. He did make one crucial catch late in the 4th quarter, but the drops continue to hurt the team and create frustration among fans. With Pickens making difficult catches look easy, Lamb's mistakes stand out even more. Another bright spot was rookie tight end Brevin Spanford. On a red zone play, he stumbled slightly on his route but managed to stay on his feet. Prescott kept his eyes on him the entire time and delivered a perfect pass for Spanford's first career touchdown, a 4-yard score the team celebrated with extra excitement. Meanwhile, receiver and return specialist Cavante Turpin had a rough night. He lost a fumble on a handoff and made a mistake on a punt return by signaling for a fair catch and then running with the ball. That penalty cost the Cowboys valuable field position on their final drive, but they still overcame it. Turpin's role could be in danger if these mistakes continue because he has not provided the same return value he had last year when he was named All-Pro. Injuries were also part of the story. Quinnen Williams scared everyone when he stayed down on the field after Saquon Barkley hit his ribs during a pass rush. Thankfully, Williams returned later in the game. Left tackle Tyler Guyton injured his ankle and had to be replaced for nearly half the game by Nate Thomas. One of the biggest milestones of the night was Dak Prescott breaking Tony Romo's franchise record for career passing yards. Prescott now has 34,378 passing yards, moving ahead of Romo's 34,183. Prescott is also closing in on Romo's touchdown record, but he will need to average 2 touchdowns per game for the rest of the season to pass it. Now the Cowboys turn their focus to the Kansas City Chiefs. This win over the Eagles gave Dallas its first winning streak of the season and a chance to go above .500 for the first time. However, the Cowboys are 0-3 this year when playing for a winning record. If there is a moment to change that trend, Thanksgiving against Kansas City is the perfect opportunity. Dallas is building momentum. The defense is improving, Dak Prescott is playing confident football, George Pickens is dominating, and the team believes they can compete with the best teams in the league. The comeback victory over the Eagles might just be the spark that turns the Cowboys' season around.